Hi, I'm Josh Lambert, the Group Product Manager for our memory team, and today I'll be talking about what we plan to release and work on in the 13.4 release, which will be shipping on September 22nd. The top priorities we have are one, to continue to work on our dynamic image resizing feature. This has been identified as the change that has the most impact on improving the overall performance that a user perceives when they use GitLab. We do this by reducing the images that we deliver to their device, which results in less work done by the browser and less network transfer on their end. We think this will reduce the time by around 20% of most pages, which would be a great win for a lot of our users. So we're pretty focused on this in the next couple of releases. We got some proof of concepts done in 13.3, and we'll be continuing the work here in 13.4, mainly around which method we want to use, what resizing algorithm, and things like that. We're working towards implementing a change here and actually delivering it as opposed to some proof of concepts which we're working through in the previous milestone. Next up, we want to continue to work on reducing the number of SQL cache calls that we make, because this results in effectively slower performance on the GitLab server side. So users will see slower pages, and also they'll see admins will see higher consumption of compute on the GitLab server side. So it's a win-win for everyone involved here. We had a great impact here with the notes controller, and these are the other controllers that we see that have high counts of cache queries, and so we'll be targeting these next here. So effectively, it's if you're an engineer here at GitLab, it's treating them as something like an N+1 query, where it's just in general inefficient. We want to avoid usage, and so we're working through removing them from our code base. Next up, we also want to support an OKR we have for this quarter. 13.4 is the first release in the quarter, and we're targeting improvements to 5 of the most commonly visited pages on GitLab.com, and likely other GitLab instances as well, which is the project homepage, issue list, issue detail, MR list, and MR detail pages. And you can see those here. We want to improve the largest contentful paint time, which is a metric which identifies effectively the time it takes to deliver most of the page to the end user. So we want to try and reduce this by 25%. Now, you may notice that the first 2 items here contribute to this, and they absolutely do, but we also want to make sure that we're continuing to drive this forward in 13.4 and identifying other areas that we can improve, so we can continue to drive towards this target here in 13.5 and 13.6. We have a few other items here that are also important that we're working on. We want to help collect the telemetry on the actual user experience that is perceived by users. And so we can currently today collect the performance of the server, but we don't really get much telemetry back on the performance of our overall user base. And we want to try and collect this via Snowplow, so we have that understanding of what our users are experiencing, and so we can know if we're improving things or not for our overall user base. And then we're also working on a few other things that will improve performance potentially if we have time. But up here is the top 3, largely aligned around working to improve the overall performance of GitLab that our users perceive, and that's along this like OKR right here. So that's our main drivers and main focus areas for 13.4, and likely will continue to be so for the rest of this quarter. And stay tuned for what we have planned in 13.5. Thank you so much.